Okay, folks, today's date is 9/30/2022, and my name is Leslie Williams. We can always pay attention to license plates. Check it out. Oh, absolutely, Munchkin Butts. Check it out. Check me out. I'm going to tell you some stuff in this video, and it's going to blow your mind if you don't know anything about gang stalking. Now, the key here to truth is to listen to what I state, because the devil is in the details, sweethearts. Listen very closely. Research my descriptions thoroughly with a mature, patient, investigative posture, and you will see truth. Now, my fellow American citizens, hold on a second. Please excuse me, I just went to McDonald's over there. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to share some information with you concerning why gang stalking victims become so traumatized. Because a lot of things are happening to gang stalking victims. And I'm going to talk to you about that one specific thing that's happening in gang stalking crimes, so we can take what I state and research it thoroughly. Okay, and so let's buckle up, let's giddy go, and you'll understand. A lot of victims of this crime experience what is known as the computer-to-brain link, the computer-to-brain feedback loop. And that's basically remote neural monitoring. Now, remote neural monitoring in gang stalking crimes, what gang stalking crimes and remote neural monitoring does is that remote neural monitoring allows these satanic rats who are hosting this crime to neurally hack a gang stalking victim from a remote distance. Remote neural monitoring. Monitoring you neurally, remotely. As crazy as this sounds to the uneducated ear, understand and know truth is through research. Hold on. You should also know there's other massively reported integrated tech that is put within the, there's also a lot of reported integrated tech that is put within the supercomputer remote neural monitoring is in, so that the features of this other technology, which could also include voice to skull with voice morphing. Absolutely. Always pay attention to license plates. They could be very revealing. You just never can tell at any time. So check this out. Now, what remote neural monitoring can do is that it can, well, obviously monitor you neurally remotely, but with it, this is a technology that can alter a human being's perceptions. It can also interrupt thought processes in real time and even change them in real time. Absolutely. And when that's going on, baby cakes, you usually got nanotech in play, i.e. VIA, biophotonics, which means that it's acting as an interpreter and a decipherer, but it's also acting as an encoder and decoder, decoding the neuronal activity related to its information processing and encoding information within it. That's a related subject matter, and it's very relevant. How you doing today, ma'am? So it's a very relevant issue, but let's get to the purpose of this particular video. I wanted to throw that additional information in there because you want to know it when you do your research. So in gang stalking crimes, what these satanic little rats will do is they'll throw a victim into the program. So that's what gang stalking is. It's a freaking program. It's not stalking by gangs. This is not an educational video to educate you about what gang stalking is in general. This is a video that's here to educate you about, by the way, you can research black and white at any time in color coding and gang stalking. That's right, baby. Just feel free to get license plates at any time when any victim is making a video. So anyways, now that's related to be, color coding is related to the visual processing area of the brain, especially if the gang stalking victim has non-consensual visual implants in them, which can include in the occipital lobe, in the eyes, and other areas of the visual processing sensors of the brain. Research how remote neural monitoring is massively widely reported to not only neurally hack the visual cortex, but they can also see through the victim's eyes. Stay with me. Now, so, okay. So, how can in one very small but extremely relevant set of what this crime does, how can it be so psychologically disorientating to a gang stalking victim related to what this one specific set of what they do? How can it have such a neurological and psychological disorientating impact on the victim's perceptions, senses, deliberations, conclusions? Well, and remember, this is only a tidbit. This is only a set of what's reported that these vile whores do, but it's very relevant. So, let me give you an example of what these satanic rats can do. What do we got over here? We got a mall. And this, by the way, is off of Nobel Drive. And I believe Genesee is right over there. Genesee's right over there somewhere. And so with Genesee is right over there. This is Nobel Drive right here. And it's amazing. It's just literally amazing how many black and white cars are in the hood. So anyways, if you want to figure out black and white, go to concerning what's reported, you can go to my blog on the profile of my Twitter account, which is at HIGGINSGGGG. The name of the account is Neo Exposing Truth. Again, that Twitter account handle is at HIGGINSGGGG. Higgins with 4 G's on the end. All lowercase, all letters directly next to each other. Neo Exposing Truth is the name of the account. Okay? So what you want to do concerning gang stalking, and then when you get to that account, you want to go onto the profile, and the blog is on the profile. So the blog is on the profile. When you get into that, you want to look for a YouTube video that's got the title Demigods. Okay? And the sine wave you see in that video is ultrasound. Research that to gang stalking. And, what else do we got? And then you're going to be able to understand why black and white is so relevant. And trust me when I say it's extremely relevant. The sine wave you see in that video is directly connected to the ultrasound that is widely reported to be used on the vast majority of all gang stalking victims. And you need to know that the ultrasound that's going through gang stalking victims is not, it is a sine wave, but it's ultrasound. Okay? And when they force the brain to process it every second of every minute of every hour of every day, including when they're sleeping, that assists in the visual processing area, processing of what the victim sees. Okay. Oh, this guy's definitely got a guilty look. You can usually tell what these little cocksuckers fucking look like. Abso-fucking-lutely. Or at least the useful idiots connected to them. Oh, abso-fucking-lutely. Trust me, I got a long history with this demonic shit. Oh, absolutely. So anyways, in gang stalking criminal expeditions, tie that statement off concerning that video. The sine wave, you see a nice, pleasant looking sine wave in that video. Well, when ultrasound is going through a gang stalking victim's mind, it is going through it on a continuous basis, and it's already pre-calibrated to be fluctuating at decibels and frequencies that's pre-calibrated for the victim to process. Concerning, the brain is forced to process it in the way that it's pre-calibrated to process at fluctuating, oscillating frequencies and decibels, which creates a lot of neurological damage in the victim's mind. This is the sound wave, at least one of the main sound wave that's being used to assist in the visual processing of what the victim sees back to them, and then anything that's sent to the victim from them. That includes auditorial and visual, and two of the main features and functions of remote neural monitoring is neurally hacking the visual and audio cortex. So let me give you an example of how psychologically disorientating this demonic crime can be against innocent people, completely innocent people. What these vile horrors will do is that they'll throw the victim in this demonic campaign. Okay? And the victim, most victims, when they're first thrown into this program, don't even know what's going on. And you can be a victim of gang stalking without the community-based gang stalking, so you got to be careful about that, because that's usually where the red flags will start telling you something's going on that shouldn't be. You can be subject to voice to skull with voice morphing, remote neural monitoring, and the complete total sabotage of every aspect of your life without the community-based gang stalking. The community-based gang stalking is usually the marker that will tell your senses something's going on here that's completely wrong, totally evil. Okay, and then the brain will then eventually start linking the dots together. Once you find out, after you start experiencing the community-based gang stalking, that you are a victim of gang stalking, because you'll start doing research on the internet, and that's how you should be able to discover what's going on in the hood. Now, these same sick satanic rats who host this crime, they will undermine the victim's psychological orientation by through, but not limited to, engaging in techniques that are intentionally designed to be psychologically disorientating. Absolutely. Now, it's done through many, many means. It's done through community-based gang stalking psychological operations. It's done through, and it can also be done through the technology that these vile whores have, absolutely. But you need to know that a lot of the community-based gang stalking has got a lot of features and techniques and tactics that they employ in order to undermine the psychological processes of the victim. As a direct result, they become psychologically disorientated. Purposely done. Okay? So, here's an example of how you can see the one aspect of this demonic crap. Say if you're a gang stalking victim and you don't know enough yet about voice to skull with voice morphing, and remote neural monitoring. Say you just don't know enough about it yet to know how it's operating together. Concerning just this one tidbit of information, it's very relevant. So one of the ways that you can, come on baby, give me a smile. Don't know about that one. Anyways, so one of the ways, so here's one great example. Say if you're a gang stalking victim, whether you've been made homeless yet or not, because they're making people homeless all over the country at the epidemic level. Oh God, I can't stand these people. There's literally no mathematical summation or formula or equation. There's no language that would accurately surmise the depth of demonic pathology of these sick, sadistic horrors. Oh, they are the worst of the worst. Absolutely. So, now, if a gang stalking victim, even if they know about gang stalking, they still might not be educated enough about this tech in the way I'm getting ready to illustrate to you so they can see what's being done. That's the point of this video. So here's a metaphorical example. Or is it a metaphorical example? Read between the lines. Your average your average business plaza. This is an average business plaza, even though some of the businesses have been closed for whatever reason. So the only real businesses, I believe, that are really still in operation over here are McDonald's and the gas station. But this used to be a thriving mall. I mean, massive businesses used to be up in here. So if you can just imagine your average everyday mall where there's massive amounts of businesses, right? Well, even kids know this, that when you are in a shopping mall, you'll see security guards going by every now and then. All right? I'm not saying that's not justified. I'm just bringing a point here to you. So you got a shopping fucking mall. Oh, sorry about that. You got a shopping mall. And what the demonic rats who are in the system will do, because they got powers of influence, FBI, police, all intelligence agencies are exposed, as well as the U.S. military as well. Don't leave anybody out, baby cakes. They don't step back when they're targeting you. They don't sit back and say, well, we're not going to do this to him or her. We'll just do this. Fuck that. They do everything to victims. So it's a victim's right to sit back and say, okay, I'm going to expose what I know concerning at least what the internet is stating. So yes, research all those descriptions to gang stalking. So say if you got a victim then, whether the victim has been made homeless yet intentionally or not, what you want to know is when you research gang stalking and business plazas, you will see that they are working with land developers, police, and security guards. Now, they do this in a covert cooperating, conferencing relationship so they can then control these people within the business plaza against the victim when the victim visits the business plaza. They're told lies about the victim. Some of them are intimately, directly connected to the organized crime syndicate in the system that's controlling this at the federal, state, and local level, which is why this crime is an absolute fucking epidemic all over America in every neighborhood. So the victim goes to a business, and the victim's just minding their own business, going into McDonald's. Like last week, I went into CVS, came out right after spending over $50. Walked right out the door and got hassled with by some dumbass security guard. Okay, who I already know was going to go out of his way to say, you can't be here, you can't be hanging around, because gang stalking wants to make you feel demeaned. Okay, that's a whole nother issue. Trust me on that. If I explained, you would thoroughly understand. Okay, so you're just going to have to trust me on that. Now, so one of the things that gang stalking does is that when a victim goes to a business plaza, okay, especially if the victim doesn't have a lot of money. If you got money, you can buy cameras, tape recorders. Okay, you can buy a phone that's got a video camera app on it, and you can create online apps so you can get on Twitter and make predictions about what these vile whores will do. Absolutely. Here's another license plate from Nevada you might want to pay attention to. Abso-fucking-lutely. So what we got to understand here is that when the victim goes into one of these plazas, let's say we got a victim who's not like really bad off, but not really good off either, monetarily wise. So the victim goes into a plaza, and they go into the plaza and they get some grocery shopping done. Okay, and maybe the victim don't have a car, research gang stalking and staged vehicle accidents. So you don't even allow you to have a fucking car. And before they wreck it through a staged vehicle accident, they'll literally sabotage it mechanically and electrically just to get you to spend your money. So when they do make you homeless, you got less money. That's how vicious these filthy whores are. Hello, FBI. How you doing, little bitch? So anyways, sorry, I'm in rare form today, folks. Research how they're massively implicated to host this crime at the state, county, and local level, working in covert collusion with police pertaining to what's reported. Because I just don't give a shit anymore. Bunch of vile whores fucking tore down my life, people I don't even fucking know. Okay, put me out on the street and then collude with everybody and anybody to get them to assist, to get them to harass you. This crime is that bad. Literally, against completely innocent people. Okay? So what I do is I expose these vile animals for what the hell they are. Oh, absolutely. So check this out. So you go into a business, and I'm sorry about all the filler information. So you go into a business, and after you go into a business, you spend, let's say, $50 at a grocery store. Then let's say you spend, I don't know, let's see, $50 at a grocery store. Then you might leave the grocery store, and then you might go to a clothing store in the mall. All right, so then you go to a clothing store in the mall. You spend $75 in there. Then you might go to the restaurant 2 doors down and spend another $25 getting a pizza, fries, and a Coke. All right, so you've been running around all day. We all know what it's like when we go to the shopping mall. We go to bebopping in and out of stores, maybe see a movie. We're tired. So how many times, when honestly ask yourself, how many times when you've been at shopping malls in your adult life and even in your teenage life, when you've been there, how many times have you just sat down and taken a rest? Okay, I'm going to take a 10-minute rest so I can rest my busy little bones. Okay, so I can rest my busy little bones because I'm tired, and then I'll get up and leave. Everybody does that practically. Okay, absolutely. At 100 times in your life, you probably do that, especially if you go there on foot. All right, so you go there, you come out of the pizza shop, you say, I'm going to sit down for a second. You're on a bike. Okay, you're tired as hell from running around all day, carrying groceries with you. Things that you would not have to be doing if the crime hadn't staged multiple vehicle accidents and wrecked multiple cars in a prior state you were in. Absolutely. So, because these wild animals just don't give a shit. I mean, they'll run you down and take everything from you, run you down, and then exploit you. That's the goal. Okay? So, say you bebopped into 4 stores, you come out of the 4th one, you say to yourself, damn, I'm tired as hell, I'm just going to sit down for a few minutes. Okay, maybe repack my stuff so it fits on my bike a little bit better. You're not making a mess. You're not bothering nobody. You're just sitting there minding your own business, not bothering a soul, not making a mess. I'm just talking about maybe going through 1 or 2 bags, taking them like maybe 5 items out, putting them in. Well, what they'll do is they'll call up the fucking security guard of the business plaza, and they'll have them fucking approach you. And they'll say, if you're not shopping, you got to leave. Okay? That's what they'll fucking say. They'll say, you got to get up and get out of here right now, because if you don't, I'm going to call the cops on you. That's what they'll fucking literally say. And then they'll repeat the same shit at different malls. Get that license plate right there. That's fucking literally. Okay? Now, so, trust me, I know what I'm doing here. Okay? I know exactly what, get that one too. Absolutely. So, what these vile whores will do is that the ones who are hosting this are the ones who are calling up the business plazas and having them conference with employees, managers, security firms, and then they're told to do what they're told to do against the victim. Okay? Human trafficking. Now, the goal of this are many. The reason why the security guard is told to approach the person, the reason why a McDonald's manager will say you can't bring your bike in the fucking second you're trying to walk in, set your bike aside, get something to eat, and walk out. Why do you think that's being done? Do you think it could be done because the host knows that when you left your bike alone outside of McDonald's or other places, it's been fucked with? That then wrecks your entire rest of your day at least. So what they do is they condition you to be hyper vigilant about your bike. That's another issue, but that is the reality. That's what gang stalking does. Okay? So let's say they repeat the same bullshit process at 3 plazas within 5 different plaza visits, almost back to back. Now, what happens here? What happens here is that what the victim sees, they fucking see on their monitor on remote neural monitoring. Hold on a second. Everything the victim sees, these wild, vicious whores record. Okay? Especially if you got the type of eye lens implants in your eyes if you're a victim, in your eyes, like I got in mine. So what these demonic bitches are doing is that they record what you see through your eyes through remote neural monitoring. And then what they'll do, because one of the goals here is visual brain training, so you got to listen carefully. What you see in and through your eyes goes through the brain through ultrasound to them, and then their little whore ass records it. Okay? And then what they'll do is then next time the victim goes into a business plaza, they already got a picture of who the security guard is that they're going to use at the business plaza. So what they'll do then, and you got to remember, remote neural monitoring operates by and through the speed of light. By and through the speed of light on ultrasound. Okay? So here's a great example of this. So you see that? Let me just show you an example here. Okay. Do you see that middle part of that sign over there that says Chevron? Okay. All right. Now, well, all they got to do, this is just an example, so pay attention. So that middle part of that sign right there that says Chevron, what these demonic rats can do, imagine that middle part as being a big face, a face of a security guard with a security guard hat on, or even the entire body of a security guard. So he's got the security guard uniform on, he's got the hat on, he's got the belt on around his waist, he's got the walkie-talkie on the belt, he's ready to go. Okay? So that's what you would see in the middle of that sign over there, right? Well, what these sick demonic rats will do is they'll take a picture of a security guard that works at a security firm, and they'll put it in the computer. Now, through subvocal speech monitoring, they're able to determine that the victim is going to the plaza before they even arrive. Okay? All right? So, when the victim arrives, they are tracking the victim in real time down to the foot every second of every minute of every hour of every day. This crime is that bad. Okay? So what these little satanic rats will do is that when they see the victim's route and their entry point within the plaza, they're already aware. So say if you're walking on that sidewalk there, right over there. Say if you're walking on that sidewalk right over there, and you're coming into the plaza, they're knowing what route you're taking to come in. So then you walk in, this is just an example now, okay? So then you walk into the plaza from that side street right there, and then you walk over here, you walk over there, and then you start getting a little bit into the plaza. And what these little maggots will do is that they'll bring the security guard in the visual view of the victim. Therefore, then, the visual eyes and the eye lens implants in them will process what the victim sees back to their computer. Their computer on their end is already pre-programmed to recognize that face of that security guard. Have you ever heard of facial recognition? Okay? Alright? Now this is all done at the speed of light. That's why ultrasound, okay. So it looks like we got some, yeah, because that's another thing they'll do. They'll prop up shit fucking around you with people yelling and shit and acting crazy and swearing and shit. So anyways, oh, absolutely. Yeah, this is, you wouldn't believe what you just wouldn't believe what I experienced through these demonic rats. Alright, so you want to pay attention to this license plate for sure. Absolutely. Get a snap screenshot of that. Now remember, people don't tell the truth. Now check this shit out. So then as you're going into the plaza and you see the security guard's face, they already got that security guard's face and his attire in their computer. And the face is distinguished by the remote neural monitoring. It's already programmed to recognize his face when it's transmitted from the victim back to their computer. Right? So then, and the computer recognizes it instantly. Because when the victim sees it, it goes on the ultrasound wave to their computer. The computer recognizes it at the speed of light, which is a nanosecond per foot. That's a billionth of a second per foot. A billionth of a second per foot. Okay? In other words, it takes light one nanosecond to travel 1 foot when you turn your light on your house. That's how fast it is. So how fast it is that then so the computer instantly recognizes them, and then what it will do is that it's pre-programmed to send back to the victim at the speed of light, okay, a stimulated visual memory reference of a prior staged event when a security guard harassed them and maybe even evicted them from a plaza property. Okay? The security guard might approach the victim and say, hey, what are you doing here? And that will go on the ultrasound wave to their computer at the speed of light. And then the computer is pre-programmed to send back to the victim not only a stimulated visual memory reference of what the victim's seen before on a prior date when a security guard was bothering them. And so it will also simultaneously send voice to skull with voice morphing to the victim about how to respond to this current thing that the security guard is saying to him. Like, fuck off, leave me alone, I ain't bothering nobody. Then they escalate the situation based on what's said, because that's what gang stalking does. It nearly influences the victim to respond so they can jump all over the response through the brain to computer interface. Okay? Because they're literally programming the computer, so when the computer... See, because you gotta remember, the ears are monitored, the victim's ears are monitored, the victim's eyesight is monitored. So when the victim processes what the security guard said to them, hey, what are you doing here? Or I'm just here to tell you that if you hang out here, you gotta go. Well, the victim has not even had a chance to shop yet. They just got there. Or they just came out of a store, okay, and spent $50. But what you got to understand about this crime is that this crime is doing a whole bunch of other things to the victim, right? And let's say if the victim goes to 4 different plazas on 25 dates, and out of those 25 dates, at least 15 of them or 13 of them, security guards have walked by him and said, suck dick and gang stalk. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what you got to understand about this crime is that this crime is using brain-to-computer interface so that what the victim hears goes to them, okay, and then it goes to them at the speed of light instantly. So as soon as it goes to them at the speed of light instantly, the computer is already pre-programmed to send a response back to the victim instantly at the speed of light, a response to what they're hearing in real time. The time differential between what the victim's brain is forced to process, presented as this is your response to what he's saying, is not enough time for the brain to process their own natural response, because the brain processes information at the millisecond, which is a thousandth of a second. The computer is sending information to the brain at the billionth of a second. Okay? Absolutely. So what we got to understand in gang stalking, so they're behind the bush. They're right behind my bush here. Okay, so you see how they fucking hide? They're probably standing by the fucking vehicles right over here. You come and fucking sit down here and they get behind the bush. Fuck that I do. Let's see what this guy's got for me. So that's what gang stalking does, is that gang stalking props up these props of these vile demonic horrors. Okay. Oh, absolutely. So that whatever the victim ends up seeing and hearing gets processed in the victim's mind. And then that's instantly sent at the speed of light to their computer. Now, it's already you gotta remember, this is staged shit. So when they stage shit, they already know that what the victim hears and sees is meant for them to see and hear for the sake of this type of interaction between the computer-to-brain link, the computer-to-brain feedback loop, okay, and gang stalking. Right now, I'm off the corner of Nobel Drive, and I believe that's Genesee right over there. And here's Chevron, and here's the apartments behind me that they staged the bullshit. That fast. Now, so in gang stalking criminal expeditions, you think to yourself, if the brain processes information at 1/1000th of a second, if you say to yourself, I'm going to go to the grocery store, if a security guard says something to you like, hey, look, okay, it's my job to tell people they can't hang out here, right? Well, a normal natural response would be, hey, look, I understand what you're saying, but I just got done doing $50 worth of shopping. I'm going to do other shopping. Can you please not hassle me? Alright? Alright? But instead of the brain being allowed to process that, research how remote neural monitoring can interrupt your thought process in real time and then change your thoughts in real time with voice to skull with voice morphing. Because what these satanic little whores want to do is that they want you to respond in the way that they want you to, based on what the computer feeds to you about what they want you to respond with. That way, then, the security guard's got a normal apparent reason to boot your ass out. Now, what happens as a result of that? One less area you can go to get your fucking needs met. Okay? While you're trying to struggle and survive while you're homeless on a fucking bike. So what you got to understand about gang stalking and these demonic little freaks is, oh, absolutely. What you got to understand about these wild, vile whores is it the FBI who's doing the main hosting of the solicitation, working through middlemen and other people, more than likely, okay, through community groups, the police, universities, and so on, so that their whore ass can keep their identity secret while allowing the police to take all the fucking blame for everything that the victim's enduring, because the police are told not to do nothing, right? And the police are part of it, actually, as well, so always remember that. Allowing these crime groups to, because it's a crime group, it's organized crime in a system that's doing this, absolutely, and they're using their power positions to affect these programs through these applied methods and techniques. And most of the dum-dums that interface around the victim and towards the victim, most of them are just used idiots. And then the other ones are syndicate wannabes, lowlifes, organized crime criminals that are loosely connected to it, and then syndicate members who will play their role. Absolutely. All of them are nothing but lowlifes. All of them. Okay? All of them. From the police to the FBI and to all the little demonic bitches who are the middlemen. Okay? Oh, absolutely. Because you got to think smart. You got to think to yourself. How do you think you would feel if you're... Get her license plate for sure. How do you think you would feel if your brain was hijacked during the day? Through computer-to-brain link, computer-to-brain feedback loop. How do you think you would feel, okay, if your fucking brain was hijacked during the day? Okay? In order so that your thoughts can be stopped, and then so artificial thoughts can be funneled to your fucking brain. Voice to skull with voice morphing. They're fucking literally setting up women and young men all over this country to get raped, buying through using voice to skull with voice morphing on them. Go to Google and YouTube and type in Stockton, San Antonio, then go to YouTube and type in satellite terrorism. Watch enough of his videos until you literally hear John Hall openly state that if you hear a voice in your head that's not your own, that's electronic harassment. But if you hear a voice in your head that sounds like your own voice, that's mind control. Well, that's voice to skull with voice morphing. Absolutely. Yeah, ain't nothing like a little truth, alphabets. I mean, would McDonald's want to be well known for being involved in this fucking crime? A nationwide food chain? No. Do you think McDonald's has got enough money to pay a low-life bitch to fucking kick a woman's ass because she's whistleblowing? Of course they do. Do you think the police got the fucking connections to find a lowlife? Of course they fucking do. You think the FBI does? Of course they fucking do. Okay? Absolutely. That's why these vile bitches need to fucking be exposed for what they are. Because if a human being cannot live, just live, without having to fucking be harassed, approached. Because when the victim has been, when they have been harassed, let's say by, and I'm this is a metaphorical example, but you can ask yourself, has this ever happened to any victim that I might be aware of? Read between the lines, sweethearts. Because one of the ways that gang stalking is keeping itself alive in the victim's mind is buying through this technology worked on the victim daily, including hundreds of times a day. Neural hacking, neural interfacing, so that the fucking brain is forced to perceive a false response in their mind based on a prop. The prop being the security guard. The prop being a cop. The victim seeing black and white. Okay? The victim hearing, oh my God, crazy and gang stalk behind you. Okay? Absolutely. You know what? Let me tell you another tidbit of information about how sick and disgusting these biomaggots are. They'll harass a victim using physical people. Okay? Physical people that they'll prop up on the other side of your fucking door of your apartment, outside of your apartment window as well. And they'll repeat certain words, phrases, and or sounds. They'll harass you day and night. They'll fucking create massive noise campaigns outside your home. Then they'll prop up people outside your fucking door and outside your windows to repeat the shit, right? And then they'll let you see them run away, purposely. Visual entrainment, to create visual anchors related to the type of situations I was saying earlier. Then what they'll start do is switch over and use acoustic technology like holosonics to make you think when you're hearing things outside your window or fucking door that it's actually a person. Absolutely. Right? That they'll literally make you think it's a person by using holosonics. Research meticulously what holosonics is. Meticulously. Right? Then they'll switch over and use acoustic technology that cannot be recorded, like voice to skull. Okay? And what else do we got? ELF broadcasting, the microwave hearing effect. That way, when you make a fucking video and they know where you're at, they got the time to set that fucking shit up around you, because a lot of this shit is even mobile. So that when you hear it, you react to it, you think it is an actual physical person, you fucking get up, your video camera ain't catching shit, then they call you crazy. Research how they intentionally try to fucking label gang stalking victims as being mentally ill. Absolutely, because they're fucking around. It's perception manipulation. Now, let me tell you a little bit of something about me, and I gotta let you go. I'm a grown woman. I'm almost 60 years old. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I don't hang around anybody at all, and never have for 1 second since I've been in San Diego since August of 2011. Why? Because I know social infiltration is a method of gang stalking. Right? So, that's how I ended up being exploited in Michigan, big time. And by the way, I met those people through the fucking cops. And through a staged event. Oh, absolutely. Upper middle class people. Right? Oh, absolutely. So, since I've been by myself the entire time, but let me tell you about what type of life I had before these vile whores decided to openly start tearing it down so they could fucking whisk me deeper into the campaign. They fucking literally took me out of 4 apartments in Michigan and 1 in Tennessee. Okay, out of my own home. So when you are sitting at home and you look at every single thing you own in every single room, I lost drafting tables, $300 desks, $250 drafting tables, okay, $800 computers, printers, scanners, okay, thousands of dollars in college books, okay. I lost over $40,000 just in property alone as a direct result of these vile whores taking me out of my home purposely in Michigan repeatedly. Okay? I lost every stitch of clothing, everything in my kitchen, everything in my living room, everything in my dining room, everything down to the toilet brush. Lost it all. Buying through the demonic hands, okay, of this crime in Michigan. 4 apartments, 1 in Tennessee. Okay? And put me out on the street. Now, how do you think you would feel if somebody destroyed every aspect of your fucking life and put you out on the street, and then the wild, vile, demonic cops kept you there by them fucking allowing this shit to continue daily? Daily. How do you think you'd feel? Because the crime continues. On a daily basis, it continues. And they allow it to continue purposely. So, how do you think you would feel if a bunch of demonic rats that you did not even know did all this to you, and all this to your personal life? Okay? Absolutely. Ask yourself, how do you think you would feel? And then, once they make you homeless, they track you to fucking wooded areas and play mind games with you endlessly. Then, research electromagnetic weapons and gang stalking and directed energy weapons. How they fucking torture you with that sick shit. Okay? To keep you constantly running and trying to escape it. Okay? Then think about not only that, but then think about when you go to a bus stop to sit down just to try and escape a wooded area that you're being hit at with this sick vile shit. You sit at a bus stop and they target you. Okay? You sit in a restaurant, they target you. You stand in a grocery store, they fucking target you. Okay? Do you know what this technology does? It gives you cancer. It gives you leukemia. It causes your teeth to fall out. Yeah. If your teeth fall out and you're seen in public, okay, walking your bike with a bunch of stuff on occasion, okay, and only on occasion, okay, and you wouldn't believe the thousands and thousands of dollars of camping gear and clothes that they've stolen from me out here in San Diego since 2011. They don't give a shit. The fucking the mayor's office belongs in prison. The district attorney's office belongs in prison. And fucking every cop that's allowed this belongs in prison. Every single one. Every single one. If you walked up to a cop and said, give me your fucking wallet right now, okay, he'd throw you in jail. But these wild, vile whores are allowed to affect my life on a daily basis. Daily basis. I can't even cook anymore at a wooded area because if I sit still too long, they'll fucking hit me with electromagnetic weapons. As a result, I gotta go into fucking McDonald's and spend $18 just for lunch. Lunch and dinner. Absolutely. This crime has gotten this bad. So when you go into my blog and you see what's the first tweet link and the first two videos attached in it, as of today's date, September 30th, 2022, look for the video made on August 9th, uploaded on August 10th, right there. Look at the video uploaded on August 13th from August 11th. You're going to see electromagnetic weapons in real time being affected upon my person and snap screenshots from the video. Okay? So when you hit men and women all over this fucking country with this sick, vile shit, okay, especially to the face, you end up with face cancer. You end up with nose cancer. You end up losing your fucking teeth. And let me just give you one last tidbit of information here. These wild, vile whores Google slander and gang stalking. So when you research slander and gang stalking, what's some of the biggest types of slander that's told to be stated about gang stalking victims? What's one of the biggest type of slanders that community members are being told? Okay, that the person is a social deviant of some sort. Okay. Well, if you walk up to an average community member and you say, look at that person, he's a social deviant, right? And then the victim looks a little bit grubby because they've been made intentionally homeless. The victim's face might be a little bit sunk in because they've lost their fucking teeth because of being hit in the face with electromagnetic weapons. The victim's weight might be down because radiation causes your muscular tissue, okay, and your body to lose weight that you can never fucking regain back. Well, then the victim now looks like the description of what the lies they're being told about the victim. Do you see how fucking clever this crime is? I've seen women all over Twitter and YouTube say the same shit. Okay, women who are not involved in any type of illegal or social deviant activity at all, just like I'm not. Okay? But that's what these little vile sick whores are doing. They're literally hitting men and women all over the country in the face, nose, mouth, teeth, throat, chest, okay, organs, all bones, all joints, okay? So what type of health effect do you think that's going to have on the victim when radiation is constantly going through their fucking body? What type of health effects do you think you're going to come down with? Think about you going into a hospital and getting 1,000 x-rays in 1 week. Boom. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, the computer-to-brain link and the computer-to-brain feedback loop is one of the biggest reasons why this crime, especially throughout it, but especially at the beginning, will prop up a staged event between the victim and other people. Okay? And this is done so that when the event is unfolding from before, during, and after, everything the victim sees gets recorded by these vile whores. Then they can take any aspect of that and loop it back into the visual cortex while adding a narrative to it auditorily with voice-to-skull with voice morphing. In order to give that memory, well, let me give you an example. Say if every time you go, say if you go to one bus stop 30 times in 1 month, and 30 times each month for 7 months, because you got to go to it, you got to go along your regular routes, and you've been harassed, let's say, the 10, 15 times each month, added by social deviants, punks, criminals, and crazies. Well, you're going to start getting, and they're told to act crazy too, absolutely. Well, you're going to start getting a understanding of who is being used in this crime when they are. Okay? Because they're told to look a certain way, they're told to carry themselves a certain way, they're told to act a certain way, they're even told to dress a certain way. Because the whole goal is to make the victim hypervigilant, scared, paranoid. Absolutely, right? While they're enduring assaults, provocations, harassment, intense altercations, and so on. Why do you think this is being done? It's being done so these vile, wild horrors can create these type of episodic visual memories. Therefore, then, when the victim gets up the next day to go to the fucking bus stop, guess what this crime will do? It will resend back a visual imagery of the last event that they staged at the bus stop to make the victim hypervigilant about another episode being repeated. It's portrayed, though, as a pictorial thought process, and the victim believes that they're just having an in-real-time concern about an event being repeated because the crime this crime intentionally repeats identical events. Okay? In closing, check this out. Remember, I think it was Kobe Bryant. Wasn't he a basketball player or something like that? He got killed along with his daughter in a helicopter accident here over the last couple of years. Okay? Well, when he got killed, I guess some EMS employees, fire department personnel and some EMS employees, they took pictures of him and his daughter burnt to a crisp. And then it's reported that they shared them all over the internet. And it spread like wildfire. Well, the wife got a hold of this. She got a hold of this information, and she ended up seeing it several times. So you imagine you being, hang on one second. You imagine you being happily married and losing your husband and your child in this type of horrific event. And then knowing that this type of, the way they ended up, and then while knowing that your beloved husband and your daughter got burned to a crisp, and then the people who were supposed to be there to assist in, the event took pictures of them and then put it all over the internet. Imagine that happening to you. She sued him. Okay? She sued him for emotional distress, and I believe that court case is still going on. So she sued him for emotional distress, and then every time she saw it on the internet, her brain had to relive it. Now, if you don't think that stuff like that is not psychologically damaging, because it is. Because every time you see something connected to a trauma, your brain is forced to reprocess not just that, but aspects of the trauma itself. Well, that's what gang stalking does. It stages traumas, and then it loops the trauma aspects of the trauma back to the mind, to the visual cortex, while simultaneously using voices called voice morphing to make you think that, okay, I got to go to the bus stop. Am I going to experience another staged event while you're seeing the visual imagery of a prior staged event that you endured at the bus stop? That's done to keep the mind focused on this crime, and that's how they're keeping the crime alive in the victim's mind on a daily fucking basis. It's called the computer-to-brain link, the computer-to-brain feedback loop. Okay? So it's nothing but a trauma loop. It's a neurological trauma loop that these satanic horrors are forcing the brain to process on a daily fucking basis. Hold on a second. So, in order to know what these demonic maggots are capable of doing is to become educated. Because in ignorance, no gang stalking victim is safe. In ignorance, the community is not safe. And in ignorance, you might end up falling subject to slander about a human being, and you might be ending up being told to do something because somebody that's in your life, okay, is telling you to do something, maybe because they've been duped, or maybe because they're part of the syndicate or wanna be. Okay? Absolutely. So when you research gang stalking and slander, Google the following to gang stalking. Gang stalking and slander. Gang stalking in businesses. Gang stalking in business plazas. Gang stalking in security guards. I'll fucking tell you right fucking now, the security guards over at Whole Foods Market off of Villa La Jolla Square Drive, the security guards over for that plaza as well have harassed me on a daily, practically every time I go over there. They have literally been caught repeating suck, dick, and gang stalk. Okay, concerning the security firm that works in that plaza, as well as the security firm that works for I think maybe I might have experienced some security guard impersonators over at Vaughn's over off of Regents Road and Arabia Street. Oh, absolutely, because they'll literally come on the plaza and pretend to be security guards for the plaza itself. Literally. Literally. Just to make you anxious. Hold on. So, I want you to ask yourself, in closing, when you go to Google and you research how tens of thousands of American citizens, right now, any day you fucking watch this video, on any date you watch this video, any date you watch it, any date, okay? You watch this video, you go to Google and you research how many gang stalking victims in America are stating they're being sadistically, endlessly tortured in their own fucking homes. Okay, with electromagnetic weapons and directed energy weapons. So say in 1 year time period, you got a family, a mother, a father, and 2 kids. And the mother and or father is being hit with these weapons every single day, sometimes nonstop, all day, in every room. So when they wake up in the morning, what do you think is going to be the first thing their brain and body is going to tell them? Get up and move around. It's going to become their life. It's going to be the only thing just about that's processed in the mind of the victim, because one of the most innate functions of the human brain is self-preservation, the limbic system part of the brain. And what the limbic system part of the brain does is that it tells you when you are under danger, especially if you know about the weapons and you know about this crime. Okay? So what the brain is going to do is the brain is going to say, I need to get up, I need to get out of here. So imagine never being able to stay in your own fucking home. Okay? Say, ask yourself, okay, I want to get up and I want to make some bacon and eggs. I want to make something for my kids. I can't do it because I can't go into my own kitchen. Honey, let's go. We got to go somewhere and get something to eat. And there goes their money. Imagine being made homeless and then stalked to fucking wooded areas and fucked with by intentional homeless people. Okay? Made hypervigilant concerning it. Being repeated. And then experiencing hollow sonics so they can make you think homeless people are in the fucking area. Absolutely. Because one thing you got to understand about gang stalking is that gang stalking is here to brain and train you. Auditorial and visual brain entrainment. They're here to make you hypervigilant. They're here to make you stressed out every fucking day, every way they can about everything and anything. And if they see that your mind is overriding and interrupting the brain entrainment when it comes to the community-based harassment and props, they'll start fucking frying your brain and body out with electromagnetic weapons because they know you fucking can't ignore that. Absolutely. They know that you cannot ignore that. So it's my intention not just to expose why are the FBI all over the internet to be one of the main hosts of this crime at the state level, working with fusion centers, state and local county cops. Why is that? Why is that? Not one case investigated all over America. Not one fucking case. Yeah. Research how they break into your fucking homes. Research how they're making thousands of men and women homeless every year intentionally. And then keeping them out on the fucking streets so they can be fucking subject to all this shit. If they hadn't made me homeless, I wouldn't be fucking subject to all this fucking stupid ass community-based gang stalking every day. I wouldn't be forced to go to laundromats and libraries where I'm fucking targeted at. Because I'd be at home. Okay? I'd probably be married. Absolutely. My life would be in my control, not in control of vile raping, gang raping, human trafficking maggots. Absolutely. I'm going to upload this video right now. I got to let you go. So research everything I stated. How they can upload visual imagery to the visual cortex. How they can map your visual memories and then loop them back to you. Research voice call with voice morphing and how that's being used for rape all over the country. Hello, NSA. Research John Hall satellite terrorism. Research stalked in San Antonio at Google and YouTube. Research the police and gang stalking. Research fucking businesses and gang stalking. Post offices and banks included. And universities and fucking libraries. These are feeders, man. They're fucking vampires. They're feeding off of the perceptions that they're fucking manipulating. When anybody gets around me and says gang stalk, suck dick, and oh my god, that's auditory entrainment. That's a fucking lulu. So I look at it this way. We got an intimate relationship going on. Non-consensually, but it's intimate. It's intimate how? They came into my fucking life, now I'm in theirs. Okay? No one's got a right to privacy. No reported host of this crime has got a right to their privacy. Not one. They don't respect our privacy. Do you really believe that remote neural monitoring is respecting our fucking privacy? Do you really fucking believe when they put lens implants in your eyes, non-consensually, and interface with them daily for thousands, hundreds of different types of crimes? And trust me, that's going on. I know I haven't explained it yet, but it's coming. All of that shit's coming. Do you really think that that's not invading your privacy? Do you really honestly think when these satanic whores, if they see you preparing to fucking get a hold of a lawyer, is somebody contacting that fucking lawyer and saying, you should not take this client's case or this prospective client's case? Here's a legal instrument that's going to intimidate the fuck out of you so you don't. Because lawyers ain't stupid. They know the government can spend you to death. Walk in court, claim we don't know jack shit, tie you up in appeals for years on end while you're targeted every day in between, including to your death. Okay? Yeah, that's a violation of my 4th and 5th Amendment right there. Where the fuck are my rights at, dickheads? Absolutely. You fucking walk into an FBI agent's home, a cop's home, and you break into it. Okay? What do you think that they would do? They get in their job, they get their buddies, and they hunt the criminal down. But no gang stalking victim's got a right to expect the police to research who the fuck is hosting the gang stalking against them. Why? Because the police are organized crime. Do you really think some low-life asshole can go in these fucking businesses? Okay? And post offices and bonds and the library and say, when this person comes in here, repeat gang stalk and suck dick. When this person fucking comes in here, hit him or her with electromagnetic weapons so she gets the message of not fucking coming back. Do you think some low-life street punk can do that? That's some satanic bitch in the fucking system. Absolutely. And that's the way it is, baby cakes. Research what I state and have a good day.